Hey guys, welcome to the Fight Tonight channel. At the turn, Devin Haney can come and fight Conor Benn in London at 147. Devin Haney looked down at the scales with disgust. He knew there were still a handful of big fights remaining for him at 135 pounds, but making that arduous weight cut was out of the question. Haney wasn't sure if a 5-pound reprieve would be enough, but he was willing to try. In his first fight in the super lightweight division, Haney bounced up and down on his toes and fought with high energy. According to the 3 judges sitting ringside and practically everyone who watched, Haney was levels above Regis Progress, winning every second of every round while crushing to a lopsided victory. The super lightweight division has a ton of star-studded names associated with it: Teofimo Lopez, Gabriel Matthews, Josh Taylor. Haney didn't plan on achieving any of them. However, he is pontificated his desire to move on up to the welterweight division. A few fighters have been mentioned as possible opponents. Terence Crawford, Mario Barrios, and even Keith Thurman appear to be on his hit list. Recently thought Conor Benn has been getting some notoriety. Of course, he barely broke a sweat last weekend while outclassing Peter Dobson. Ed Hearn has noticed that both Benn and Haney have fulminated over social media. The trash talk is fun and creates buzz, but Hearn doesn't want it to be portrayed. Instead of throwing a bunch of verbal jabs at one another, Hearn suggested that Haney packed his bags, jump onto the nearest fight he can find, and fight Benn away from the comforts of his US home. Devin can come and fight Conor in London at 147 pounds, Hearn said. I think that Devin is gonna eventually be at 147 pounds, and he is building himself into a big star. If Devin wants to come to the United Kingdom and fill up a stadium or the old second arena, we would love to do it, Hearn said. Conor Benn wanting to fight Gervonta Davis. Mess with those guys at 47 and 54. Conor Benn is doing his best to wipe off the dirt that's covering his name. For the highly ranked welterweight contender, a failed drug test has many believe that he's never been a clean fighter. In due time, he will have the opportunity to clear his name completely, but for now, he is taking out his frustrations on his opponents. Fighting stateside is a rarity for the Brit, but Benn enjoyed himself this past Saturday night. At the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas, Nevada, Peter Dobson willingly stepped up to the plate. Although he talked a good game, Benn smiled widely as he went on to score a lopsided unanimous decision victory. Why would he go down there and pick on guys at 35 and 40? Bomack told a group of reporters. Why don't you mess with those guys at 47 and 54? Call those guys out. At 147 pounds, Benn would love to get his hands on several of the division's top names. However, Gervonta Davis, who's never fought above 140 pounds, has grabbed his attention. To be fair, Davis fired the first shot. He ripped Benn for his recent performance and claimed that he could stop him if they jump into the ring. Benn, of course, enjoys talking smack. By the time they finished throwing all sorts of threes at one another, both Ed Hearn, Benn's promoter, and Davis stated that the deal was being worked on. Thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.